What's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Wednesday morning. Hope you are getting up and getting at it. Hope you are doing well this morning. I'm going to give you a quick update. I'm going to do what we always do when we're eyeing down a big potential storm, whether it's a winter storm, severe weather, hurricanes. I'm going to give you an update, and we're going to run through the models overnight from yesterday evening. And we're going to give you the latest updated information. Some things have changed, and a lot of people might not like it. Some people might. The low pressure is in general trended northwest, therefore the wintry weather has trended northwest. But stay with me, we're going to talk about that still means winter weather for areas of the south as of now. But things are going to be changing. Before we get going with this video, do ask if you have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Like the video if you like it, and I promise you guys my content will get much better in time, much more appealing, and I appreciate the amazing support. I mean, I just hit 10K last week. And I'm about to hit 12K, and it's all y'all. Y'all give me a platform to talk about what I love, and I appreciate and love every single one of y'all. I really do. Thank y'all for the amazing support. If you want to get fast and quick updates, hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, even TikTok. I make quick little videos. Instagram's linked to my Facebook, but Twitter is where it's at. I'm very frequent with my updates on there, so if you got a Twitter, hit me up on there. I know not everybody's a big Twitter person, but I'm very, very quick with updates there. Thank y'all for the amazing support. Really appreciate it, but we're going to get deep into this. I want to mention, before we get really deep into this video, really briefly, your weather apps are going crazy right now. You got the Weather Channel app, Weather Bug, Weather Underground, AccuWeather. They're giving you these crazy totals. Last night, I'm in Lexington, South Carolina, which is near Columbia, South Carolina, the capital of South Carolina. And last night, it was pointing in general of 5 to 11 inches of snow over a 18-hour period from my location. That is ridiculous. No model has ever showed that. And chances are your apps are going to show ridiculous totals. Please do not look at these apps and think in your mind wholesale that, hey, this is going to happen. Stick to your National Weather Service locally in your area. Stick to your local news. They're going to lead you right. And try not to believe these apps. I know it's exciting to look at when you see a 3 to 5 inches of snow is possible. But trust me, there's more to it than that 3 to 5 inches, okay? But let's get going here. We're 2 minutes deep into this, and we're just rambling on. I'm not going to keep you long this morning. We're going to look at the latest Euro. We're going to look at the latest GFS. Take a look at the Ensembles, and then roll on out of here. And I'll get y'all going with y'all's day, and I'll give y'all an update this evening as usual. European, we're going with this storm. I'm going to try to talk about everybody. I've had a lot of people say, what about me? What about me? I know, guys, when we're talking about snow and significant weather in the south, it's not common. For other areas, it's very common. But we're going to talk about everybody. We're going to get very, very detailed tonight, so stick with me tonight. Here comes our system. I want to mention our system is about 4,000 miles away. The energy has not been sampled by the models, so models are going to continue to change. And we're getting very close to the short-range models, and we'll know a lot more soon. But here comes our system. We're getting into Friday evening, the start of our weekend. A big plume of heavy snow drifting. It's a big, robust, like Alberta Clipper kind of system. It's a northern stream dominant system. You don't have any kind of energy firing up down here in the Gulf that's going to phase with this. But eventually, there's a lot that goes on with here. We'll talk about the dynamics of that tonight, like I always do in my videos in the evenings. We're just going to go over the model guidance right now. This piece of energy shoots due southeast or south, drops heavy snow in Missouri. You're waking up Saturday morning for about 75% of the state of Missouri, mainly talking about the central, the northeast, and the eastern parts of the state with snow, low pressure riding through. The rain changes, snow for areas of Missouri who are only seeing rain in the morning. As you're getting your Saturday evening, rain's falling. This energy continues to dip south. You're showing snow in Arkansas in the early morning hours of Sunday. Snow may be breaking out in areas of Tennessee, mainly northwest Tennessee. But look right here, low pressure here. And trust me, guys, I'm going to get a little bit closer here in a second. I'm just showing you the system as a whole, countrywide here. Here we go. We're getting into Sunday morning. The latest Euro is much more wintry than everything else. But here's the low pressure, well up into Alabama. And then you got backside snow in this northern Mississippi. Snow showing up, wintry mix in your Nashville, a little bit of snow in Memphis. You have heavy snow breaking out in northeast Georgia as a big-time CAD. Cold air damming gets trapped east of the mountains, and this is all freezing rain and sleet for areas in the Midlands of South Carolina. You got snow breaking out in the Triad of North Carolina, and it breaks out all over Raleigh. And then eventually the low pressure, what it does is it dips here, then it plows back north. And you really need this low pressure to stay off the coast for this to be a wholesale winter storm for the Carolinas and Georgia and Virginia and places like that. This is trended northwest, which isn't good. So therefore, a lot of the wintry precipitation has trended more northwest in response to the low pressure trending more northwest. So therefore, you do have some backside snow after the ice storm showing up for upstate South Carolina. But even look at this graphic, and let's go on and just run through this really quick. This shows a significant winter storm for areas of the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast, but now it's inland areas. So maybe areas like Washington, D.C., Boston, Philadelphia, New York City, Boston, you guys might be all rain, while just inland it is coming down. This is an odd-looking setup. I'm not going to be able to answer your questions as far as snowfall totals, guys, right now. I really not. Give me about 48 hours, and I know that's a long time, but I can really start answering them then. But here we go. We're going to take a look at the southeast with this storm. Here it comes, and look at this ice breaking out over South Carolina. Look at the heavy snow breaking out over upstate South Carolina, and it's coming into North Carolina. But look what it does is the low pressure plows inland right here in eastern areas of North Carolina. You get rain that surges in for areas that saw snow maybe 6 hours prior, like in Raleigh. You got freezing rain and sleet showing up in Charlotte. Areas like Columbia, you're right at the border as this backside cold air moves in as the low pressure departs. You're right at that rain and snow line, maybe some backside snow filtering in here. And then it's on up. But you look at the Mid-Atlantic here as the storm goes on through. This shows a very impactful event for Virginia on the onset. A big thumping of heavy wintry precipitation. But if you're in eastern areas of the state, it goes to rain. Areas of central to western areas of Virginia and West Virginia and even Pennsylvania are seeing snow as we're getting into the overnight Sunday into Monday time frame. This would be a big snow event for a large portion of Pennsylvania, West Virginia, basically the western half of Maryland. To Delmarva looks to get rain as the low pressure plows inward. And this keeps going here. And then we look at a further northern area right here. All the big cities miss. This is all inland. Heck, even Caribou, Maine, it goes to rain here. As far as snowfall totals, this is what we got. Notice this is a 10-to-1 ratio. This mixes snow with a sleet. A nice swath of a nice heavy snow event for areas of the upper Midwest, the Midwest in general, Iowa. This is going to be a nice winter event for you guys. In Missouri, y'all are looking great also with a few inches of snow, especially for the northern and eastern areas of the state and central areas. But look here, look at this heavy snow showing up in Tennessee. These models are flip-flopping so much, but look at the heavy snow in upstate South Carolina. Poor central South Carolina, like Columbia, is right on the border. Atlanta's very close. You got 2 inches showing up in Atlanta, but then 8 inches northeast of town. So, and then just a swath of heavy snow goes up well west of the I-95 corridor. This is an inland cutting storm. You really want the storm to trend back southeast. You really do. As far as ice is a dangerous look here. It really is. But the European is still showing a significant ice storm for areas of South Carolina, even areas of Georgia and North Carolina. But, you know, Columbia, this is almost 3/4 of an inch of ice. This is devastating ice. This would be a crippling ice storm for these areas. I'm talking about trees falling and lights out potential ice storm. But it's one run. Let's look at the GFS. We're going to have to pick up the pace. Never intended to make a 20-minute video this morning. I'll be late to work, but I love the weather so much for you guys. I want to keep y'all updated. But here we go. Here comes the piece of energy shooting through. We're going to speed this up. Same look as the Euro as far as the beginning cycle of this storm. It really looks similar and set maybe a little bit more snow. Low pressure digs down here. Cold air falling in behind it. But I'm telling you, this low pressure is all the way up in Alabama as we're getting into the wee hours of the morning Sunday. Snow breaking out over the mountains. But it is much more of a warmer look for Tennessee. The Euro has a much colder look in general. And here we go. Look at the freezing rain breaking out over upstate South Carolina. I tell you what, for Atlanta folks, this is even more complicated because Atlanta, one model is showing a significant amount of winter weather, and then the GFS is literally showing the entire storm just about being heavy, cold rain. Areas like Columbia, you're just south of that ice storm mark, but just north, you're getting a significant ice storm. These blues are more sleet. Charlotte, you're getting slammed as you're waking up Sunday morning, and this is just a flat-out more icy look. But this is really trended northwest here. But you keep going, low pressure cuts through the Carolinas, and it cuts even more than the European does. In fact, it brings more so heavy rain into Washington, D.C. In fact, if this thing keeps trending northwest, you're going to have a severe weather threat for areas of the south to east. I don't think that's going to happen, but you got to watch. The high pressure just looks a little bit weaker in the latest runs, but this moves through and it plows this low pressure all the way up near Toronto, Canada. I mean, it's ridiculous what it does here, and yeah, I mean, this isn't a big time wintry scenario for anybody. Even the mountains look to be all ice. This would be a significant ice storm for areas much further northwest than what the Euro is showing. We'll look at snowfall totals. This accounts for sleet and snow. There is some gigantic totals showing up for the Carolinas, but I really think this is counting, I think, all wintry precipitation. I kind of really think it is here, especially sleet. But there's a nice corridor of snow from southern areas of Missouri through southern areas of Illinois. I'm sorry, guys, Illinois. Southern areas of Indiana. Ohio shows nice snow. So the Ohio Valley, you would want something like the GFS to happen. This would bring y'all more wintry precipitation. If you want wintry precipitation, snow would bring y'all a big-time event. So you're definitely pulling for that if you're a big snow lover in Ohio, in the Ohio Valley. But yeah, so as far as snow ice totals, what would this show and depict? Ice totals shift further north. Therefore, you have a significant ice storm from the GFS in Greenville, Spartanburg, Charlotte, up to Greensboro and Statesville, things like that. It just shifts everything more north, and then you have a corridor of ice even showing up in Kentucky and Virginia. So yeah, as far as the EPS ensembles, this is the most current run. The 06Z will come out within the hour, so this might shift even more northwest, or it might stay about the same. I will mention the ensembles, which is basically a bunch of runs thrown together. It's actually the more accurate thing to look at this range. They're actually delayed. I feel like almost like the operational run is leading the way here, which is really, really odd. But there's still a 2-inch mean in Columbia, a 2-inch mean in Atlanta, 6-inch mean in Charlotte, 7-inch mean in Greenville, Spartanburg, Asheville 10. And then I really think it's automatic for snow in these portions out here in Iowa, Minnesota, Missouri, things like that. But an impressive mean, but you notice these coastal cities, Boston, New York City, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, you notice it's not as high, but just inland it is. A swath of heavy snow. Maine, the entire state of Maine, northeast, New Hampshire, Vermont, looking good with this system, but if it cuts, I mean, it's going to cut. But you look at the run prior, this is the EPS mean to the one at 12Z lunchtime yesterday. I mean, it's much more south, but definitely not as robust. But I click this, click that, click this, click that. Notice the one yesterday was more south. You want that if you want snow and wintry weather in the southeast. But the one currently, it shifts things a little bit more north. But that doesn't mean we're out the water for ice. I tell you, not at all. You go to the GEFS ensembles. This is the most current run. This accounts for everything. But still a nice mean, even into Georgia, into the Carolinas. But compared to the one last night, it's not as south, but it's much more robust, So I want to mention this, and I got to wrap this video up. I'm going to back this run up 4 runs. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the GEFS ensembles. It tries to tell you where the low pressure could potentially be Sunday afternoon for the storm system. Notice all these numbers. These are where low pressures could be. Don't pay attention to the strength. We're not really worried about this right now. We're truly talking about the placement here. But notice 24 hours ago, they were well off the coast. What you want that with cold air filtering in. You don't want an amped up system riding into the Carolinas. It brings too much warm air at the surface, aloft, and everywhere. And everybody gets stuck with either freezing rain or a nasty cold rain. You fast forward it to the most current run, 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice how the low pressures have trended more west and northwest. That's not good news if you want winter weather for the southeast. It's really not. And it's not good news for the mid-Atlantic or northeast, especially the I-95 corridor either. It is good news for further areas inland who want snow, well inland. But yeah, so that's the latest update. I meant for this video to go about 10 minutes, went about 15. So hope this helps you guys out. Keep y'all updated this evening. Love you guys. Appreciate the support. Have a great Wednesday.